Getting a divorce in Delaware is actually simpler than you might think. One spouse must be a resident for 6 months before filing for divorce. The divorce may be filed in either spouse's county of residence. Once the residency requirement is completed, legal grounds for a divorce must be established. Both general and no-fault divorce are acceptable grounds for divorce. The no-fault reason is irretrievable breakdown of the marriage and reconciliation is improbable. Marriage is considered irretrievably broken when it is characterized by one of the following: voluntary separation, separation caused by the other spouse's misconduct or mental illness, or separation caused by incompatibility, and living apart for 6 months because of incompatibility. The general reason is separation caused by mental illness. Delaware does not require a parenting plan for child custody. Joint or sole custody is determined by the best interests of the child, regardless of the parent's sex, and considering the preference of the child, the wishes of the parents, the child's adjustment to his or her home, school, and community, the mental and physical health of all individuals involved, the relationship of the child with parents, siblings, and other significant family members, and the past and present compliance by both parents with the duty to support the child. The conduct of the proposed guardian is to be considered only as it bears on his or her relationship with the child. In addition, in cases involving children, the petitioning parent must submit a signed affidavit stating that the parent has been advised of or has read the following list of children's rights. The list of rights must be included in the affidavit. The children's rights are the right to a continuing relationship with both parents, the right to be treated as an important human being with unique feelings, ideas, and desires, the right to continuing care and guidance from both parents, the right to know and appreciate what is good in each parent without one parent degrading the other, the right to express love, affection, and respect for each parent without having to stifle that love because of disapproval by the other parent, the right to know that the parent's decision to divorce was not the responsibility of the child, the right not to be a source of argument between the parents, the right to honest answers to questions about the changing family relationships, the right to be able to experience regular and consistent contact with both parents, and the right to know the reason for any cancellation of time or change of plans, and the right to have a relaxed, secure relationship with both parents without being placed in a position to manipulate one parent against the other. Each parent has an equal duty to support any children. The following are considered in child support awards: the financial resources of the child, the standard of living the child would have enjoyed if there had been no divorce, the age and health of the parents, the earning capacity of each parent, the amount and sources of income of each parent, the age, health, or station of the child, the estate and needs of the child, and the relative financial means of the parents. Delaware is an equitable distribution state. A spouse's separate property consists of property obtained prior to the marriage, obtained by inheritance, specified as separate property by an agreement between the spouses, or property acquired in exchange for separate property or an increase in value of separate property. All separate property is retained by the owner. Marital property acquired during the marriage, including any gifts, is divided equitably, regardless of fault, based on the contribution of each spouse to the acquisition of the marital property, including the contribution of each spouse as homemaker, the value of each spouse's personal property, the economic circumstances of each spouse at the time the division of property is to become effective, the length of the marriage, the age and health of the spouses, the occupation of the spouses, the amount and sources of income of the spouses, the vocational skills of the spouses, the employability of the spouses, the estate, liabilities, and needs of each spouse, and the opportunity of each for further acquisition of capital assets and income, the federal income tax consequences of the court's division of the property, liabilities of the spouses, any prior marriage of each spouse, whether the property award is instead of or in addition to maintenance, how and by whom the property was acquired, and any custodial provisions for the children. Alimony may be awarded to either spouse if he or she is dependent on the other spouse, lacks sufficient property, including any award or marital property, to provide for his or her reasonable needs, and is unable to support himself or herself through appropriate employment or is the custodian of a child whose condition or circumstances make it appropriate that he or she not be required to seek employment. Either spouse may be awarded alimony for no longer than 50% of the length of the marriage. No time limit exists if the marriage lasted for over 20 years. Marital misconduct is not considered in alimony awards. The factors considered are the time necessary to acquire sufficient education and training to enable the spouse to find appropriate employment and that spouse's future earning capacity, the standard of living established during the marriage, the duration of the marriage, the ability of the spouse from whom support is sought to meet his or her needs while meeting those of the spouse seeking support, the financial resources of the spouse seeking alimony, including marital property apportioned to such spouse and such spouse's ability to meet his or her needs independently, the tax consequences to each spouse, the age of the spouses, the physical and emotional conditions of the spouses, any custodial and child support responsibilities, whether either spouse has foregone or postponed economic, education, or other employment opportunities during the course of the marriage, and any other factor that the court finds just and appropriate. Any party awarded alimony is required to seek employment and training, unless it would be inequitable because of a severe physical or mental disability, his or her age, or the needs of any children living with the spouse receiving alimony. Unless agreed otherwise, alimony is terminated upon death, remarriage, or cohabitation with another person. In a contested divorce, the court may delay the proceedings for 60 days to allow counseling or order a mediation conference. In addition, there are mediation arbitration units attached to the Delaware Family Court. Finally, the court may require divorcing parents to participate in a certified parenting education course. If the parent has a history of domestic violence, he or she may be required to attend additional, more intensive courses. Visit us today at www.mydivorcepapers.com and click on Delaware at the bottom of the page. Let mydivorcepapers.com help you file for divorce today.